Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers Season 6, Episode 15, Pro Tiki Con Tiki, Episode 16, Bye Bye Boo Boo. And we always start off with our synopsis. So here is Episode 15, Pro Tiki Con Tiki. Bob's childhood friend that got super rich, Warren Fitzgerald, calls to tell the family he wants to stay with them while he visits. Gene gives his room up for Warren and sets up in the living room, creating New Geneland. After trying one of Bob's burgers, Warren offers to invest in the restaurant. While Mr. Dowling doesn't believe anyone would give Bob this large of a check, Bob deposits the check and Warren starts giving his suggestions. Warren wants to tikify the restaurant, getting a new awning, new decorations, and a talking pineapple. Bob isn't feeling great about the changes and tries to remind himself Warren knows what he is doing. Bob's Burgers immediately gets customers after the changes and more tiki stuff arrives. Bob snaps when Jimmy Pesto compliments the changes and tells Warren he wants to give him his money back. Warren refuses to take his money back, and the two end up fighting. Warren admits that he thinks Bob is the successful one, not him. He gives the money back and keeps to who he is and keeps Bob's Burgers how he likes it. And what did you get for the vacant storefront?
That was Don't Stop Bereaving Grief Counseling.
It's good, but it's
It
oh,
it's good in a very macabre kind of way.
I love it. And then you
Yeah.
go into the pest control truck.
Final Pestination, Pest Control. That's a good one.
I love that. That's for the Final Destination franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this may be one of my new favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And a very happy Lauren.
There are multiple burgers. So we have all in a glaze work burger served with balsamic glaze, and then I put on. Oh, thank God! I thought it was going to be served on a glazed donut.
I've eaten one of those.
Is it good?
If the burger is good,
Okay.
like it's actually tasty as long as the burger is good. Like you can't have like a dry puck of a burger
Mm-hmm.
with like American cheese on there. You want like a really good, like maybe like a smash burger setup
Mm-hmm.
with a good cheese for it to be really good and
Okay.
no condiments. No
Yeah, 'cause
condiments.
I couldn't see that with the glaze and the sugar and everything. That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, but years ago we went to a like high school football game for my nephew in his senior year of high school. Right before the pandemic started actually.
Hmm.
And the concessions was selling Krispy Kreme donut burgers. And my husband, being who he is, got two. So I took a bite. I did not get my own. I took a
Yeah.
bite. I was like, I don't know about eating that, but I did try it. And it was actually it wasn't I guess like the savory from the burger kind of balances out with just how sweet a Krispy
Okay.
Kreme donut is.
All right. I believe that. We have the at first use sesame seeds tie again burger.
That's supposed to be if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yes. The turn the other leek burger.
Turn the other cheek.
And then there was a burger that I could not be seen. It was like Sprout O Kraut O something.
Yeah, even the wiki says there is another one, but that's all you can see of it. So we don't
Okay.
really know what it is. I hope it's not sprouts and sauerkraut together because that sounds disgusting to me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of looks like what it would be. And can we please not mix sprouts and sauerkraut? I
Can
don't.
we please not put sauerkraut on a burger?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of sauerkraut, like
Me neither.
ever.
No.
My grandmother loves it. My grandmother also spent like a few years in Germany with my when my grandfather was stationed there though. So there are certain
That
things that she loves because she lived in
mm-hmm.
Germany for a while that I'm like, how do you eat that?
That makes sense.
Like, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you could pick up the voice of who Warren Fitzgerald is.
Did I write it down? Because the thing is, I watched it so long ago, I don't remember anymore. Was it Chris Parnell?
Yes, it was Chris
Okay.
Parnell. And if you
Okay.
don't know who Chris Parnell is, did you watch television? The man
Doc-
is in everything.
Dr. Spitchemin.
He actually had a small part in a Friends episode once.
Mm,
He is the dad in Rick and Morty. He's mostly known for like Bob's fans that he is another character in Archer,
mm,
who Archer tortures, which is so funny with the dynamic here going into Bob's
mm-hmm.
Burgers because that's just H. John Benjamin and Chris Parnell getting to work together on a different project.
Yeah.
And then of course Mr. Dowling returns, and that's Craig Anton,
Mm-hmm.
um, who I found out today was actually the dad in Phil of the Future. from Disney.
It's been so long since I watched that, but yeah,
I
that makes
know,
sense.
right?
Dang.
So the
Okay then.
episode's title is a reference to the 1947 Kon Tiki raft expedition. That is when Thor Heyerdahl, I think is how you say it, tested his theory that ancient people could have reached the Polynesian islands from South America. The
Hmm.
expedition was chronicled in a book and a documentary film. So
Okay then.
that's a lot to base a name off
Yeah.
of, but it was. Um, this episode is the first one to have the appearance of Warren Fitzgerald. He was previously mentioned in Carpe Museum. He is, of course, voiced by Chris Parnell, his co-star on Archer. He is the first Archer main cast member to guest star on Bob's Burgers. And ironically, the only member of Bob's Burgers that has guest starred on Archer is Dan Mintz.
Okay.
So I'm surprised more haven't, guest starred.
Yeah.
And then when Bob pranks Warren by pouring water on him, Warren, yells out that he ruined his watch given to him by his grandfather. This is a direct reference to the many acts of destruction that Archer puts upon Figgis, who is not Warren's, Chris. Too many names. Chris
So
Parnell's
many names.
character,
Gotcha.
in Archer, where Figgis, pretty much every item that Archer destroys is a gift from Figgis's grandfather.
Okay.
So they use that directly. And I just want to start off with my first line, like I usually do. Get the full Belcher experience. Ew. Right. We are disgusting.
I wrote down, he might be that tall. He can afford extra leg.
Wow, I never knew checks could have commas. I even put an exclamation point in there. I'm as excited as you guys are. Like just the punctuation.
Yeah.
We're excited with punctuation.
Yeah. He made the Fonz look like Potsy. That was like such a specific reference too.
I had to explain Happy Days to someone recently.
Like someone our age?
They were younger.
Okay.
But I looked up on the TV when I was working at one of my bartending gigs, and one of the girls, I just went, "Oh, look, it's Henry Winkler," and they look and they go, "Oh, who's that?" And I go, "Oh, that's the Fonz."
Okay. Even if they don't know Happy Days, he's John Ralphio's dad on Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least a very modern reference.
It is, but my brain, being the age that I am, when I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, Henry Winkler, that's the Fonz." Me thinking
Yeah.
this is like a big cultural reference because it's Happy Days, it's the
Mm-hmm.
Fonz. They go, "Oh, who's the Fonz?" I felt so old for a good 5 minutes. I was like,
But
Happy Days?
it's actually funny though because Henry Winkler, he was on Bob's, right? He played the mall Santa.
He did. He played the mall Santa. And he's done so much.
Yeah.
So then I brought out other references. I was like, well, he was also the principal in the first Scream movie. Nope, that didn't help. I mean, I brought out so many references, and they're just like, I don't know who this guy is. I was like, okay, if you don't know who the Fonz is, your parents have failed at educating you.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen an episode of Happy Days, but at least I know who he is and I know of the show and the concept.
My grandmother used to watch it, so I definitely saw and then my mom really liked Laverne and Shirley, so I watched a lot of that. And then what was the other show? Laugh-In.
Okay,
My mom literally owned those on DVDs.
Okay, that generation stuff that I watched mostly was Welcome Back to. What I watched mostly was Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh, and Mork and Mindy.
Okay.
Which I think everybody should watch. His start.
Robin Williams.
Thank you. What is my brain?
Again, it's been a very long day.
It has. I did love the line, "Where are your pants, Gene? I just came from New Jeanland, where you don't need pants." Well, this is Lynn, Nebraska, so put them on. That's how you parent. You just bring it right back to them, and it works beautifully.
My brain is not working. You give into the bit.
You do. Why are you so good at Why are you so good at throwing menus? What do you think we do all day?
That was some very good menu frisbeeing.
It really was. And I did write down, because of how the kids act with Warren, I was like, this really is how kids act around parents' friends. And Lauren already knows.
Yep.
Because every time I'm on video call, phone call, does not matter. The kids, I swear, they're under me immediately. Like, who are you talking to? I want to talk to them. Let me talk to them. And I'm like, my friend, go away.
Yeah.
$1,700 for a cheeseburger.
Yeah. I wrote that also down too. I'm like, I agree. A burger should not be $1,700. I don't care what is on it. Although, didn't he say he said inedible gold leaf?
He did say inedible, and I'm like, what do you mean
Okay.
inedible? You can't. It. How did you eat it?
Yeah, because I mean, the regular gold leaf, like you're not gonna. It's edible. You're not gonna digest it. It's gonna come out your other end the
Yeah,
same way, but like it's not gonna kill you. So what is inedible gold leaf, and what does that do to your body?
and like you're just paying to digest gold.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Because I can understand if like a wagyu burger is expensive. A wagyu burger
Mm-hmm.
should not be $1,700. That's all the shit you add on to it. The beef itself,
Mm-hmm.
like how much is a pound of like really expensive wagyu? I'm curious.
That is a good question.
Ooh, let me actually. He said he did it overseas in Japan specifically. Can be $200 a pound.
Interesting.
Wow, like good wagyu. That's like you live in Japan wagyu beef.
Mm-hmm.
See, when we have it imported, it's different. But
Yeah.
$200 a pound? But it still doesn't equal $1,700 burger.
No, it doesn't, because the amount of ingredients. I don't know, like you have to find the rarest of rarest ingredients, and at that point, like there's definitely like a diminishing rate of return on what's you know what's worth the money
Mm-hmm.
and how good it tastes.
Like,
Because like
Does it
at
have
some point, like you're not gonna spend enough money for it to taste as good as you're spending money on
my
it.
brain just goes, does it have like gorgonzola blessed by nuns in the mountains or something? Like, what makes this so expensive? It's got to be the gold. It's just the gold.
It's gotta be. It's if it's an edible gold leaf, it's gotta be like solid gold.
I would not want that bathroom visit.
No, not at all.
So just the two men, grown men, arguing like toddlers, and then wrestling over $100,000.
Yeah, that's about. But here's the thing: is tiki restaurants. I have a love hate relationship with tiki restaurants. I don't think I've ever been to a
I
good
don't
one.
like them. I think they're kind of weird. I don't see the reason for
They're
tiki.
very yeah. I don't get the gimmick, and like I do understand that like there's merit in having a gimmick to get people
Oh
into
yeah.
your restaurant. However, I would be confused if I went into a tiki themed restaurant from the outside and it was a diner.
Oh, I'd be very confused. I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Like a tiki restaurant should, have some I don't know, Polynesian theme, I guess.
But it was also kind of like
At,
offensive tiki. Like none of it was like a
yeah,
talking
it wasn't
pineapple.
authentic. It was I I would have beaten that thing with like a baseball bat
You are Bob.
immediately. Like no, not anywhere near me because it would be going off every 10
Mm-hmm.
seconds, especially with those kids. But I wrote down like Teddy, now is not the time to get greedy and take Bob's investment money since that's meant to like make the restaurant more profitable and not just for a really big
Yeah.
awning.
Which I mean, I think it's good to have an
Like now's
awning.
no, it is, but like now's not the time to like quote exactly how much money he was given from his investor.
How frustrated did you get with him like completely turning the money away instead of just being like, can we invest this in what I would like?
I was very frustrated with that because like there's a middle ground here of like $100,000 doesn't give you complete creative control over the restaurant, but like it gives you a say, but it doesn't entitle you to completely redesign it in your image basically and how you think is being most profitable. And like if they could have found a middle ground of like let's invest it like he wants in better equipment or better ingredients or better marketing, like better marketing would be a
Mm-hmm.
good way to do that.
Adding an
Of
awning
kind
still
of
would have been
get
nice too.
yeah, adding the outing would have been really nice. Like you have that aspect of what Warren wants to do and kind of revamp the restaurant a little bit, but with making it with marketing it and just doing stuff that makes the restaurant in Bob's image because it's still his
Mm-hmm.
restaurant. Like using that money to to like, use the money the way that it should be done is to invest in the restaurant and make it better.
I really get frustrated with this episode. Like I enjoy it because Chris Parnell, like he has a very distinct voice. I don't think he ever really does much to his voice.
No, he's one of those voice actors. It's more or less the same voice
It's like Seth
all the
Rogen.
time, or like Keith David.
Oh, good one. So you get better ones than I do. Um, it's just he could have done so much. Like, yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
nice. Maybe get a better meat grinder, maybe a better flat top, something maybe to pull people in. But tiki just is not the way to go for that. It's got nothing to do
No.
with what Bob makes.
Mhm.
Um, because like there's like a really small burger place out in the I say out in the middle of nowhere because it's quite literally out in the middle of nowhere where no, out in the middle of nowhere near where I live. The
Mhm.
pull isn't the burgers, even though they have amazing burgers. It's the fact that they have cheese curds.
Gotcha.
And they also make poutine out here
Okay.
in the middle of nowhere. And so they literally have a dish of poutine that's called the kitchen sink, and they put everything in
Mhm.
that fucker. I mean,
Oh, wow.
sausage, curds, gravy, everything. And they're so good. So even though it's a burger place, they have other
Mhm.
things that actually pull you in because the cheese curds are what pull you in.
Okay.
So kind of like how Culver's has so many different things on their menu, but they
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
fried cheese curds and custard. That's what actually
Mhm.
pulls people in.
Yeah.
Bob could have come up with almost anything to pull people
Mhm.
in, and then because then once you get those people in with what they see they're getting, oh look, the burgers are actually fucking amazing.
And like not terribly expensive.
Exactly, but instead they yeah no it went horribly, and I hated it. And I like this episode. I still watch it because the kids are a lot of fun. I like
Mhm.
the idea. Bob being Bob is fun, but then I just get so angry when it's like, no, I
Mhm.
don't want the money anymore, and I'm like, no, that's
Mhm.
have an adult conversation,
Yeah.
please.
Like use the money for what it's supposed to be used for. Like I keep saying, like invest it in the restaurant in a way that works for the both of you.
Exactly.
So
So what did you rate this?
I gave this one eights for plot and for personal. It was overall very enjoyable, and I gave it a nine for character because I mean,
Wow.
despite the fact that he should have kept some of the money. Overall, I had very few issues with this episode, so I get to 25.
That's not bad. I gave plot a 6 because I got so annoyed. I always
Mm-hmm.
get annoyed. Like it's just
Yeah.
been going on since I first started watching Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
I still get just as annoyed every time I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Still enjoy it,
Yeah.
but it annoys me. But then I still gave character and personal 8s, which is still pretty good. So this is
Yeah.
actually 22 for me.
Alrighty.
Now on to episode 16. Bye bye boo boo. This sounds like something my toddler has said.
Right.
Boo Boo announces that he is leaving boys for now, and Tina finds Louise and attempts to console her, but Louise insists slapping Boo Boo cured her of her crush. Tina and Louise attend her Boys for Now fan club while they all mourn the boy band breaking up. They find out Boo Boo is going on a solo tour, and fan clubs that get the word out about the tour can win a ride with him on a roller coaster. Louise sneaks out and immediately starts the process of starting a Boo Crew to win that ride. Louise uses Tina as the name for forming the Boo Crew and convinces her to help her win the contest. They recruit more kids, and in the end, the original Boys for Now fan club wins the contest and eats a ton of food to puke on Boo Boo after the roller coaster ride. Louise does all she can to save Boo Boo and gets another slap in after admitting she likes Boo Boo. Meanwhile, a strange man walks into Bob's Burgers and tells them a grunt was shot dead in their restaurant decades before. He asks if they'd like him to get a plaque for their restaurant from the Historical Society, but Bob isn't as open to the idea. Jimmy Pesto gets jealous and lies that the shooting actually happened at his restaurant. Bob tries to get the professor from the Historical Society to prove to everyone in Jimmy Pesto's that he is lying, but changes his mind when he sees how happy Jimmy is. These are two very different stories.
Oh, extremely.
Extremely. But what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Get off my back, tramp stamp removal.
Oh, the amount of people from the 2000s that need that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that I need the younger generation to understand how much of an epidemic this was.
Yeah, like it's not like it was a trend, and like, but to be fair, because I feel like our trends lasted longer, just because I think with
They
social
did.
media, trends just don't last as long as they used to because there's so much over
They literally
churn.
call them micro trends now.
Yeah. So like these were like years of people getting these things and that being on trend.
We also see it with our movies now, which is actually actively angers me.
Yeah.
Like movies used to be in the theater for so much longer,
Mm-hmm.
and you even had like certain seasons where for certain things like I was really upset there was like no Halloween. I am not counting Terrifier 3, but there were like no Halloween movies for October of 2024 really in
Oh.
theaters. Like there really weren't any. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it's October.
Yeah, I would say the only like real like trends that we still see is I feel like there are still some big blockbusters that come out in
hmm
the summer. But for the most part, you usually get new Disney, new, and there's like some, again, like the big blockbusters again, like that are like at least your big ticket movies, I would
Yeah.
say. Usually have a couple that come out around Thanksgiving and a couple that come out around Christmas.
But
So
our
like
like
that's maintained, but
our horror movies have not though, because it used to be okay.
yeah.
You would probably see like a summer slasher come out in the summer. That was the normal thing, and then you would a lot
Hmm.
of horror movies would come out late September and October because that's the time people want to go and see that. And
Yeah.
trends are just so different. But the tramp stamp trend was a long one.
Hmm.
I survived it because thankfully I was a little bit too young to get one. By time I was old enough to get one, the trend had thankfully passed.
Yeah, I would say I didn't leave that trend entirely unscathed in that I think I got like a temporary tattoo as a tramp
Oh,
stamp at like
definitely same.
someone's birthday party, but like other than that, there's no, I mean, I currently have zero tattoos, so
Oh, I have one, two, four, four. Look, I can't see all of them.
that's fair.
As many with tramp stamps can't. What did you get for the pest control truck?
Ants like no one is watching pest control. That's a cute one.
That is a cute one. And the burgers of the day,
We have the Fig Lebowski burger.
which is kind of fun. I kind of like that one, but I want to know what he did with the
Hmm.
fig.
I'm imagining fig jam.
Yeah. My brain goes, I don't know if it's like just what I've worked in before. I always go when I see these different combinations going, what cheese is being used?
Mm.
Like I instantly go to what cheese? Because what cheese would you put with fig on a burger?
Yeah, I say because with fig I would go brie, but I would not put that on a burger.
Exactly. Brie is too creamy to put on a burger, in my opinion. It's too heavy.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you do that, you can't have anything else on it.
Exactly. See, my brain, this is what it does.
Hmm.
There's another one though.
That was the My Farrow Lady Burger, which farrow is not a burger topping unless the burger's made out of farrow.
What is farro?
It's a grain.
Oh God.
Like
Does it
farrow
use
is
it as
usually
a
like a base.
binder?
I don't know, because it's a base usually for like grain bowls and stuff like that at restaurants and stuff. So like, unless like you're having like a veggie burger with farrow, I don't see how that would work. But that is a reference to My Fair Lady.
Oh yes, yes it is. You are correct. Uh
I know my musical theater.
yes. Max Greenfield returned as Boo Boo, which
Mm-hmm.
I will never get over the like obviously Boys for Now is a constant in
Mm-hmm.
Bob's Burgers. It
Yeah,
will never go away because we have a
I
13-year-old
figured.
girl as a main character.
Mm-hmm.
We have Chrissy is played by Lauren Lapkus, who was Denise in The Big Bang Theory. She's been in a
Gotcha.
lot. Like she's got a very recognizable face.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Liedman plays Robin. The only other thing I really seen that he had been in is Q Force on Netflix.
Gotcha. Never watched that.
Me either. I thought it looked interesting, but I was like, I don't think I'm the audience for this.
No, I definitely wasn't.
Which is okay. I need people to understand.
Yeah,
Sometimes, and we're going to discuss this in the next thing that we're going to record, not all media is created for you.
exactly.
And then we have Rich Fulcher as Professor Wallace. He's done a lot of voiceover work for Rick, like stuff like Rick and Morty. He's done like everything he
Mm,
was listed for was like mostly voiceover work, which I really
gotcha.
love. I just
Okay.
something gets me really excited when someone just does a ton of voiceover. Like barely puts
Yeah.
themselves on screen. They're like, nope, I have a radio voice. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I have the face for radio.
Exactly. The title is a reference to the movie Bye Bye Birdie.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
So it's Boo Boo leaving Boys for Now to start a solo career. It was likely inspired by the departure of Zayn Malik from One Direction. Because that
Okay.
was in March 2015, only a few months before the table read for this episode. And then, of course, Malik has since launched a solo career. I had
Yeah.
to Google who he was because
Oh
I
yeah.
was like,
Yes. As soon as you said that, I mean, I was not a One Direction fan, although I actually do have a book about how like the One Direction fandom shaped the internet.
oh,
I've had it for years, and I've never actually I've read like not more than like the first. It's like about like fandom culture and like online,
mm-hmm.
but like specifically through it's a psychology book through the lens of the One Direction fandom.
Because
That I've tried reading but haven't actually finished.
I was one of those kids that I really did love NSYNC as a kid, but I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like at my daughter's
Yeah,
age.
same.
And then once I hit high school, I got more into punk and alternative, and so I really didn't listen to boy bands anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
then I knew a lot of people that obsessed over One Direction, and I was like,
Yep.
I'm happy that you have this. I don't understand it. Um,
Exactly.
but they probably didn't understand why I was obsessed with Simple Plan at 14. But
Yeah,
yeah.
even back then, like I'd say I was similar. Like when I was a kid, like yeah, I listened to NSYNC, I listened
Hmm.
to Britney Spears, like Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. And then like when I got to choose my own music, it was mostly show tunes. That hasn't changed ever.
I still
Wow.
like I was big on because I was always everybody was like, oh, is it Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears? NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? I was a Christina Aguilera and NSYNC person, not
Fair.
the other as much. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had a Britney Spears CD though, and then of course Hillary Duff. Like I had a Hillary Duff phase.
Yes.
Who
Oh yes,
didn't
we all
have a
had Hillary.
Hillary Duff
We
phase?
we all had a Hillary Duff phase.
It was such a
And like
good
I was also like
phase.
I was in like that prime age group for Hannah Montana.
Oh, you were?
Cause like that started coming out when I was in sixth grade. That was like I was like I mean I know I'm
Um,
only a year behind you I think, but like I think sixth grade was like the prime like place to like that because I'm listening to the audiobook right now for Disney High, which is the book about like
yeah.
the goings on with the Disney Channel and their thought processes and like that age group was who they were aiming for with that show.
It really was because I am a year older, but my sister
Yeah.
is 2 years younger than me, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of it. Like I didn't watch it to the extent a lot of people are like watched and watched and watched all the way up until like she ends the show. I can't tell you what
Mm-hmm.
happens in the finale because I never watched it because by the time it
I
was
don't think I finished
ending,
it either.
yeah, I saw plenty of it. I remember when it started.
Yeah.
Um, because I was also like a High School Musical kid. I remember like rushing home to watch the High
Yeah.
School Musical movies. Oh, and the
That
Xenon.
was a
The
big
Xenon
thing.
movies were huge
Xenon.
for me.
Xenon was so good. So apparently I found this out. I found this out through TikTok, but I should have seen it in my own home because Kirsten Storms who played Xenon,
Hmm.
she's an actor on General Hospital. And apparently on General Hospital, her I'm assuming her daughter was dressed as Xenon, girl of the 21st century, and they had to make the actor go, "Oh, I don't know who that is."
Oh
Like like your tween daughter definitely didn't come up with this costume on her own,
no,
but like that's a bad place to make that joke. But
that's
the
so
costume
cute
looked
though.
fantastic. Yeah,
But
costume looked
yeah,
fantastic
so
though.
I feel like I was like kind of right before the Hannah Montana phase, but then I watched the
Yeah,
Demi Lovato stuff because I loved her. I
yeah.
wasn't huge on that. Like, it's a very interesting when you see what people really did watch and what they didn't
Mm-hmm.
because sixth grade and seventh grade are actually really different when you look at it at
Yeah.
that from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because yeah, no, I was about to like almost into high school and a lot of things changed.
Yeah, because yeah, I would say I don't think I didn't finish Hannah Montana, nor did I finish Wizards of Waverly
I
Place.
finished Wizards. I did finish
That
that
I did
one.
not finish. I did, however, I watched the first episode of the reboot the other night.
Oh, I watched
Um,
all of the almost all of the reboot actually.
Okay. I know so I only watched the first episode. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep watching, but that inspired me to watch my favorite episode of Wizards, which is the Quinceañera episode. I
I
love that episode
love the
so much
Quinceanera
because the
episode.
two of like they do such a good job of acting as each other.
They really do.
They do so well with that because it's the body switching episode, and it's just that one is just like I believe that their souls swapped. Honestly, they do
Hmm.
such a good job with it.
Like I understand we've got Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan for Freaky Friday, but I would like a different one, please. Even if it's made for TV, please let it be them.
Right?
Um,
I'm okay with this.
like I've watched quite a few episodes 'cause my daughter's obsessed. She loves what so
Mm-hmm.
she likes older shows. She loves Avatar, The Last Airbender, Owl House, like things that have been canceled. But she's watched. I think she tried Hannah Montana. And was like, no, this sucks, and then went straight into
That's
Wizards.
fair.
She went straight into Wizards instead. And so when she saw the new show was out, she was like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I thought you knew.
Yeah,
She watched the whole thing in one day, like immediately,
yeah.
and
It's
then
what, like 9 episodes.
she's been rewatching it though over and over again.
Fair.
What I have seen of it, it's pretty good. I have weird feelings about David Henry, so it's awkward. And then Selena Gomez is only in the first episode.
Yeah, well, because all she does is like she just brings the girl
Yeah,
to Justin's house, and that's pretty much it. I know Kirsten Vangsness is in the last episode.
I know the dad comes back for an episode too. I haven't
Oh,
seen the
nice.
mom yet though.
I don't know if she's in it.
I
She was
saw
at she was at the premiere though.
I saw like a thing about an interview that they did though, asking which character would the cast bring back
Mm-hmm.
for a cameo, and David Henry
Mm-hmm.
and Billy are sitting there, the girl that plays Billy are sitting there looking at their phones like, I can't believe you put a certain person on this, because one of the actors who played the guy who played his best friend
Mm-hmm.
is now a spicy actor.
This is our podcast. You can say whatever you want. He's a porn actor.
He's a
Yes,
porn
he is. I'm
actor,
well aware of that. I'm well aware of this.
and Yeah, he actually like
He can't be.
he went to the internet. He's like, I understand why it can't be, but I'm kind of offended that they acted like that. And I was like, yeah, no, Disney's not gonna let you come back, man.
No, he is not going back on Disney Channel. They have I mean, I know from the book that I'm reading, they do have a lot of like morality clauses for at least for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine they have them for the adults as well.
But I don't blame him. He says he has no regrets going the route that he
Oh
did,
yeah.
though, and I love
Yeah.
that for him because
Mhm.
we're not we don't shame that. Sex work is sex work. Like it's a job.
Exactly.
Um. Oh,
Back
back
to
to
Bob's
Bob's
Burgers.
Burgers.
We well, at this point I feel like we need to do just a Disney Channel retrospective
We
special.
really need to like pick out a handful of things from a certain span of years and just be like, all
Yeah.
right, we're gonna rank, we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna rewatch some of
Mhm.
these because
Yeah.
it's I love them.
Again, DComs are movies.
This is true. We can just have the like watch our few movies and just add them to the pot and let
Yeah.
patrons vote on what we
Uh-huh.
watch
Yeah.
because we got to watch
That's an option.
Eddie's Cook Off.
We have to watch Eddie's Million Dollar Cook Off.
So the
But
fake
all that to
plaque.
say that we
Oh,
were not
sorry.
big boy band. All that to
No,
say we were
yeah.
not big boy band people when we were kids.
We went down a Disney rabbit hole.
15 minutes later.
Oh, for Disney. I'm so sorry.
Oops,
And
it's the
it
wrong
wasn't in a
network.
once episode.
No, it wasn't.
But the fake plaque that Jimmy puts on his restaurant reads, "Mobster killed here on this spot in Prohibition times. A mobster got whacked while eating." This becomes the basis for the hit film Dick Tracy. The film from 1990 was actually based on a comic strip of the same name from the 1930s.
Okay.
So Jimmy Pesto is Jimmy Pesto.
Yeah, yes.
The amusement parks being visited on Boo Boo's solo tour are Danger Creek,
Okay.
Woolly Rapids,
Mm-hmm.
the Zippy Zone, Sun and Slide. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Sun and Slide Fun Park. That's a long name.
Yeah.
California Island, and of course, Wonder Wharf.
Yes.
And then the advertisements the kids put up to obtain emails are let us guess your email. Email yourself thin, because that's
I like it.
possible.
Sure.
One weird trick for getting more email, a reference to a form of clickbait advertising, and of course the email for whales.
Yes.
And then I just, as always, start off with the lines, listen, some freak thing happened to me at that concert, but then I slapped Boo Boo's face and now I'm cured. Slap therapy. Tina, ask your doctor.
I love plaques. It's like jewelry for buildings.
Also, this is a shoes off house. Do your best to act like that's not weird. I have thoughts on that.
It's not weird. Okay, what's really funny is because I'm also a shoes off house.
Okay, we are too.
But yeah, but I was coming back from a thing with some friends of mine, and they were coming inside because one of my friends was going to be watching our cats, and so like because they weren't going to be in for very long, I said like, you guys, you don't have to take your stuff if you don't want to. This is worth saying. My one friend is South Asian. My other friend is half Chinese, half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
They after I said you don't have to take your shoes off, they both went, Lauren, we're both Asian.
That's not a choice at that point.
It's like we are taking our shoes off.
Back to the slap thing too, I actually wrote down, I too believe that slapping certain people in life would be very therapeutic.
I think so. There's a few people I would love to slap, quite frankly.
Oh, quite a few. You have any more lines? Because I have two more.
I also have two more.
Okay, go ahead.
Chants are not legally binding in our state.
I'm gonna ride a roller coaster with you, Boo Boo, you disgusting, beautiful garbage angel.
That's the movie that made me want to be Italian.
Oh my god. I forgot about that one. History's dumb. Everyone knows it. It's like been there, done that, and all I could think is except history isn't taught correctly.
No, it's not.
And no one exactly remembers it, and we keep repeating it. And now we're recording this on election night, and I'm in an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's no answer to that. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I also for the Boo Crew, not a great name for
Yeah.
I guess fan clubs. But I wrote down. I guess at one point they said Boo 2. I wrote down Coven 2 just in all caps because
Oh my god.
I watched this right after the Agatha finale. So is Boys for Now. So does Boo Boo go back to them at any point?
Yes.
Okay.
I did love though when the kids yelling boo boo and they're like, are you booing him or are you
Mm-hmm.
like what are we doing here? And I'm just kind of sitting there like, it's there's tone there. We know.
Yeah. But tween girls are diabolical. Like the intrigue that was going on with all of this, like the stealing all the signatures on purpose, doing something very illegal. That was definitely like in violation of a lot of privacy laws. What her father did, like doing that specifically so that they could win to throw up on him. Like I could see girls doing that though.
Tweens are scary. Like I thought teenagers are scary. Teenagers are just dumb. Tweens specifically are scary.
Mm-hmm.
The things they will do.
Yep.
I'm terrified. Mine's gonna be a tween soon, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're homeschooled. I have that going for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's gonna help me much.
No, she'll have the same mentality as the rest of them.
Oh yeah. Planning to puke on someone that was fucking disgusting, and I don't like it.
Yes.
Can we?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I agree.
No.
I do not want it. Please do not do it. It's not fun for anybody.
But Tina's still trying to talk to them while they're puking.
Yes.
Tina, they're a
She
little
had a
busy.
point to get. She had a point to get across.
Do they do contests like this anymore?
Not now. I mean, maybe they did when we were teenagers, but I really
I
don't
remember. Do you
know.
remember the Danimals Sprouse twins contest? Do you
Oh,
remember that?
I remember them doing like the commercials for the animals, but I don't remember what the contest was.
I think it was like because they were doing the show on the yacht, the ship by then.
Oh,
So
so Sweet Life on Deck.
it was supposed to be like a trip or something with the twins.
Huh.
And I remember seeing an interview. I don't remember. Don't ask me which twin. Probably Dylan. And then the interviewer asked him like, "Did you guys ever do this?" And he's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, I don't know. I don't remember.
No one knows.
No one knows. I don't know if they still do stuff like this anymore. But the kids are all on their phones now.
Yeah.
So we literally just had TV. We didn't have much else to do.
That your shoulder?
That was my shoulder. My shoulder just popped.
Nicely done.
Oh, my joints hate me today. Oh.
But yeah. I appreciated the dad's enthusiasm in the fan club. If not, he was maybe a little too overzealous. But you know,
I love that
I did appreciate.
the mom though.
Yeah, she's like, tone it down. You're fine.
This isn't about you.
It's not about you. Not your time.
What did you think about everything with Jimmy?
I mean, I see why Bob let him have his fun because clearly it mattered a lot more to Jimmy than it mattered to him. But at the same time, Jimmy's an asshole. So just because you normally take the high road, I was like, but take the low road for once. You actually are correct. You're in the right.
Like
for
Bob's
once.
such a good guy.
I know.
Why does he have to keep doing
also,
this?
Why did he get rid of the plaque?
He didn't want it to be known as the murder restaurant. He didn't want to be
you don't have
associated
to throw it away.
with it. That's Bob.
Just keep the plaque. Much like the money. Keep the money. Figure out a middle ground. You can keep the plaque without putting it up.
I'm starting to see that Bob's morals are not aligning. Like that's why they're not successful.
Yeah, he's
too good of a person.
Yeah, his moral compass is a little too far due north.
Which, like, isn't a bad thing, but to run a business, you
No.
do have to be. You gotta want to do things that you don't always want to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be fast and loose with your morals, but like, there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground between Bob and Jimmy. There's definitely a middle ground there to be had.
Bob could just be a little bit meaner because Bob's always helping him in tight situations, like the van.
Yeah.
With the tire, he still ends up helping him. Like, Bob, stop being so nice.
Yeah, that's all he needs.
What did you rate this?
So I gave this 8s for plot and for character. It was, enjoyable. It was fine. I got nothing against it. But I did give it a 6 for personal because the barfing and the Jimmy Pesto and the tween girls being diabolical. I'm like, I'm fine. So this gets a 22.
I gave plot and personal 6 and character 8. So I give this a 20. It's just a little, like, planning to actively regurgitate your food onto somebody purposely just hits a limit of no the fuck not.
Yeah.
And tween girls are terrifying. I enjoy the episode. It's not one that I skip. I do watch this one because there are episodes I skip. And just Jimmy Pesto being Jimmy Pesto. He's
Fair.
so annoying. But yeah, no. It was
Yeah.
those weren't too bad. And we are
No,
almost done with season 6.
there you go. Yeah, those scores are like, they're about average, I would say.
Yeah. We just gotta
So,
finish out the rest of the season, and then it gets even more interesting.
okay then. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 313, Witch Hunt. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.